This is Dean Contover, current buzz. We're at the Lowell Sportsmen Club. This is August 30th, and they have an open house here, and we're going to go around and probably shoot some pistols and some rifles and see other things that happen here. And why don't you come with us? This is a special episode that we're having, and come along. We're with Sue Ganis, is that correct?
Ganis, yep.
And she's a member of the Lowell Sportsmen's Club that's been here since 1913, and she's going to give us a little bit of information that she tells people here at the welcome tent what to expect if they want to become members. You don't have to be a member from Lowell to be a member of the sport.
No, the club was actually established in Lowell in 1913, but what happened was they bought this land in North Chelmsford and ended up building here, establishing the club here. We have about 72 acres. 10 of it is what you see here, all the ranges and people shooting up here, but the rest of it is conservation land. We're also a tree farm.
Oh.
We don't hunt on our property, but we do archery, trap shooting, skeet shooting. We have an indoor pistol range, outdoor pistol range. Two fishing ponds. One is Swain Pond and the other one is a trout pond that we own completely, and anyone who's a member can fish.
Okay, let's talk about membership, right? Tell me what you have to do to become a member. You can be any, you come from any community in Massachusetts. You could live in Grafton, Massachusetts, and be a member. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Just because it says Lowell Sportsman
That's
Club,
right.
it's in actually North Chelmsford, Massachusetts.
Right.
And the question is, how much is membership?
Well, membership is actually pretty reasonable. It's $115 a year, annual dues.
Okay.
When you first join, there's a $50 application fee.
Okay.
And then also a $40 work fee. And that work participation fee can be, you can earn that money back by doing something like this, volunteering here, spending a day flipping hamburgers, or 4 hours actually. But the $50 initiation fee along with the $115 and then the $40 for the very first time you join comes out to $205.
What is the requirement in Massachusetts in regards to license to carry? In case people, a quick synopsis for some people out there.
The course basically covers safety and learning to handle a firearm properly, and then it also covers the Massachusetts state laws, because that's very important. You want to be able to follow all the laws and own it properly.
So how long is the course, and when do you get your pistol permit? How do you get your pistol permit? Let's go through that.
The course itself is a one-day course, and we do that
all day?
It's all day, from 8 in the morning till about 4 in the afternoon. We do that once a month. The club does it once a month. And actually in November, there's going to be a women's class, a women's only class coming up, which is a lot of fun.
Good.
And I teach that one with some other instructors. But once you take that course, you get a certificate and also a Massachusetts State Police certificate that you bring to your local licensing authority, which would be in the town that you live in. So if you lived in Chelmsford, you would go down to the Chelmsford Police Department, arrange a meeting with the issuing officer. I don't know how, they probably do that now just by putting you on a waiting list or making a phone call.
Yeah, I think they set up an appointment.
And then when you go down to the police department, they will enter all the information into their computer with the state, and then you just wait for your license to come.
What are we going to do next? We're going to shoot some weapons, or we're going to...
We call them firearms because we're not in the military here. We call them firearms, and
training.
Right.
Yes, we're on a trap shooting range, and I'm with Brian Herzog. He's been a member for how long?
I've been a member for 4 years.
4 years now, and he's going to explain trap shooting, and he's going to explain what you do in trap shooting, and they're going to fire. You could probably see him in the background firing a shotgun, right? Is that correct?
Yes,
all right.
Exactly.
Tell me about trap shooting. You're the expert.
The way trap shooting works is that there are 5 stations and 1 trap house. And all of the clays are launched from the trap house, but you don't know where they're going to go over the field. So you shoot 5 shots. Well, the first shooter will say pull, a clay target will come out, and they either hit it or not.
Yeah.
The next person says pull, the next clay target comes out, it's their turn. So you do that 5 times from each station, and then everybody moves 1 station to the right. So after you shoot each station, you've ended up shooting 25 shots at the
Oh, okay.
targets.
So today is my first time I'm going to shoot a rifle, and I'm very excited, a little nervous, but new experiences are good. So
When you find a weapon, you should know whether you're left eye or right eye dominant. And it seems like Melissa's left eye dominant, so she's going to shoot from the left side. And why is it the cardboard box there?
That lets you shoot a shotgun at a stationary target so you can see where it's hitting, because all you're doing is lining up the beads and you don't know exactly where the shot goes. So this gives you a visual representation of where the shot falls, so that when you're shooting at the clay targets, you'll know where the pattern's going to be when it gets to the
I
clay.
see. It's about the padding.
Yes. And it's much easier to hit something standing still than flying through the air. And since she hasn't shot a shotgun before, it lets her focus just on the actual shooting the shotgun instead of having to worry about a moving target at the same time.
All right, this is the Skeet Shooting range, and Brian's going to explain it to us in regards to the difference between trap and skeet shooting.
Okay. So in trap, you have one house where the clay pigeons are coming from, and they're always going away from you. In skeet, there are two different houses, a high house and a low house, and they're crossing more than they're going away from you.
I see.
So you know where the clays are going to come, but because they're closer to you, they're moving a little bit faster, so it's a little bit.
I see.
But it's similar to trap in that you're still using a shotgun, either 12 gauge or 20 gauge. You're still saying pull to release the clay.
At the pistol range, and you'll probably be able to see some people shooting the pistol, right? I mean, or hear it anyway. It's down in the little pit over here. So tell me about the pistol. What's range here? What's the distance in regards to shooting pistol?
This is a 25-yard outdoor. Is our 22 range. So 22 caliber is what we allow here.
Oh, okay.
And it's outdoor, which is nice. Inside the club, downstairs, we have an indoor pistol range, which is used all throughout the year.
During the winter months, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
which is much nicer down there.
Much nicer, yeah.
We also have a pistol league, which runs through the winter months, so there's competition. Right now, they're shooting a 22 handgun here. We have cans set up and targets. So that there's an instructor sitting next to her explaining how she's shooting a revolver, explaining how the revolver works, how to hold it to hit where she wants to go on the target.
I see.
We also have some air guns available today to try out.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're at Black Powder Range, and I'm sorry I didn't get your name,
My name's Al.
Al, and you're going to talk about black powder, right?
Sure.
And you're going to let me fire black powder.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. All right.
Actually, if I can take you over to
All right.
here, I can give you a little bit of a timeline on black powder weapons. The handgun I have up front, and that's how it's actually pronounced, is G-O-N-E. It was basically the great equalizer. When that was first developed, you still had people running around wearing armor. You had knights on horseback, and
Still.
at the time that was
Oh,
developed.
no kidding.
Now, a knight in armor would take decades of training. They start them from as soon as they could walk. They taught all their, how to use all their weapons and everything else, how to ride horseback, how to fight on horseback. You could teach a farmer in about 3 hours how to shoot that, how to load and shoot that accurately. Along the line, somebody really got clever and came up with the with the wheel lock.
Wheel lock.
And the wheel lock were actually made by, they were made by clockmakers. Extremely expensive, but very, very, they go right off.
So these are pistols.
Yep, this here has what they call a snap hands lock on it. Now you can see what this is, basically what was going to evolve into the flintlock. But this had a separate pan cover, but it had the steel up here that was struck with a piece of rock or a piece of flint. It would spark into the pan and ignite it. This is a Spanish Miquelette lock, which is actually really interesting because the internals in the lock are actually on the outside. Where this here, all the springs and everything else
innards,
are the innards of the innards, and this one here, leave it to the Spanish to come up with a cool design because everything's on the outside.
Right.
So you can just take one look at it and tell if the gun can actually work or not. This particular piece right here
It
was
looks like
made
it's
by
mint.
a local gunsmith,
awesome.
not local to Massachusetts, a fellow by the name of Leonard Day. It's a signed piece.
Wow.
This thing here, I have no idea what the price is on it because I would never part with it. Now this lock here, you notice the strange shape to it, but it's awfully similar to the wheel lock up here. This lock here would have been used as a replacement for a wheel lock.
This looks like a mortar.
It is. It's actually a 17th century Dutch grenade launcher. The percussion gun I have down here, this is actually a 1863, a copy of an 1863 Zouave rifle. This is the last military rifle that was built as a muzzleloader. After this, they had gone over to metallic cartridges. This, instead of putting primer powder in a pan, you actually had a brass cap that would fit over it, and it would be struck and fire.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Thank you for your expertise. So what's the distance of this range right now?
This is a 25-yard range.
25 yard. Okay.
The accuracy of this is a smooth bore, which means there's no rifling inside the
Right.
barrel. It just fires a round
Rifle
ball.
in the newer rifles have
Right, they have a groove
Groove.
in them so that it spins, which lets it be more accurate over a further distance.
Right.
But this is just a smooth bore, so it fires
Okay.
a round lead ball going out here.
a round lead ball.
And that's a 60 caliber, which means 6/10 of an inch wide.
Okay.
A smooth bore is typically accurate out to about 80 yards, but for the type of shooting that we do here, 25 yards is plenty for firing at
Okay.
targets. So there are a
So
lot
that it will hit a target. Let's say it will hit a deer at 80 yards. Is that what you're
it can
saying?
do that,
It
yes.
can.
And there are a lot of people that do hunt with flintlocks.
Right.
There is a primitive hunting season, yes.
Yeah, Massachusetts has a flintlock season.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. How
Yep.
long is that?
I'm not sure. Not
Okay.
a hunter. I hunt paper.
In here.
Right now, we're going to put the powder charge in the barrel.
Okay.
This is a 62 caliber barrel, so I'm going to put approximately that much in. I'm going to put 65 grains of black powder, and this is already pre-measured. This is an adjustable measure,
I see.
so I can dial exactly how much I need.
So it's like a little ruler.
Yeah, back in the old days, all they had was a powder horn, so
Right.
they'd have to guess how much they'd get good at it, but
Yeah.
they wouldn't be exact. This lets you be a lot more exact.
Okay.
So we'll pour that into the barrel,
Okay.
make sure it all gets in there. It's all clean.
Excuse the mic. But
That's fine. I'll tip it. I just kind of give it a little tap to make sure everything settles down there. Then, because the ball is a little bit smaller than the barrel, you need to fill up that space. So you use a patch. So what we do is we take the ball, place it over the top of the barrel, set the ball on top, and we start to press it down in.
Okay.
There's a ramrod.
Ramrod.
We remove the ramrod and then force the ball down the barrel.
All right.
And we have to tamp it down to make sure, because everything has to be tight.
Okay.
If it's not, if there's any air in here, you can get too much pressure in there and you run the risk of having that burst on you, which would really spoil your day.
Okay.
So we remove the rammer.
Always put back the ramrod. Right.
Always replace the ramrod.
Always.
Now typically they would have primed, this is the pan.
Right.
The charge is ignited here, the heat goes through a small hole and ignites the main charge.
Right.
At least that's what we hope for. Doesn't happen all the time. Things like moisture and fouling can affect it. So if you can imagine having to do this while people are shooting back at you,
Right.
could make things a little tense.
How long would it take someone in that era to load a weapon?
In that
like
era,
this?
the goal was to fire 4 times a minute.
Wow,
So
that's
every
pretty good.
15 seconds they could load, ram, prime,
Wow.
fire.
That's pretty fast.
It was very
Yeah.
fast, but your life depended on it.
That's right.
So
what
we'll
are we doing
prime.
here?
We're priming the pan.
All right, prime in the pan.
So we're putting a little bit of black powder into the pan. I put a little too much, but it makes a nicer flash. Then we close the pan.
Okay.
So what will happen is when we fire this, let me remove this flint will strike the metal, create sparks. We'll ignite that powder charge down in the pan. The heat will travel into the barrel, ignite the charge, and fire the ball. Now this is live. As soon as you press that trigger, it's going to go off.
All right.
So be careful keeping your finger outside the trigger guard. Keep it tight into your shoulder. Then you can, when you're ready, slide your hand forward a little so that your finger will reach to the front of the trigger.
Where's the trigger?
Trigger is up forward. All right. And then once you're ready, it's going to give a little kick. So be prepared. There you go.
Yeah, how you doing? We're at the Archery Range right now, and this is John Leiner. Leiner. And he lives in Chelmsford, and he's going to explain archery to us and what happens here every Thursday night. They have an archery program for the children, and you want to explain that?
Yeah, Thursday nights starting at 6:30 until dusk. We've got the range open to the public. Kids, adults, anybody that's interested. We've got several instructors that'll teach you how to shoot the bow. We shoot outside in the summer and spring and early fall, and then we bring it inside for the winter. We've got several club bows that we let people that don't have any of their own equipment shoot, and we will provide the instructions and the expertise to get you so that you can get on target and start enjoying archery. We've got targets at 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 yards. The indoor range is a little bit shorter when we do shoot in the winter, but we've got several different shooting positions and 50-yard total range length, and several club bows and plenty of arrows and lots of experience.
When you say shooting position, what do you mean by shooting position?
Oh, we've just got several different stations or stalls so that we can have multiple shooters up on the range at the same time.
Okay, I see these new bows, the compound bow. Explain the compound bow from the regular bows that when we were kids we were growing up with.
Sure.
When did compound bows come into effect?
I think starting in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s is when they started using, a compound bow uses pulleys and mechanical advantage to, increase the thrusting power of the bow. It's got a cam at this end, which is non-circular, and then just a pulley at this end, which is circular. And so this allows mechanical advantage to allow you to pull it back and then be able to transfer that energy into the arrow and shoot it further downrange.
So are you going to show me how to shoot an arrow with a compound bow?
Yeah, I can show you how to shoot an arrow with a compound.
Okay, good.
So you want to hold it in your right hand. You want to picture yourself like a T. So your downrange arm is pointing at the target, and then you just bring your uprange arm in. Right. So you want this arm to be straight. Right. Straight. Lock that in straight. And then this arm, you're just going to pull the arrow, the string back. You want to land it on your tip of your nose and the corner of your mouth. So like that.
That's okay.
And you don't want to let go because you don't have an arrow in there, so you want to slowly bring it back. All right, so then you put an arrow in. Put it on the rest. Where's the rest? You want the odd feather out?
The odd feather out. You see that? The odd feather out, the white feather is out.
Yeah, and then you actually want to knock it underneath the weight thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Knock down there. Okay.
And then just pull it back like this.
Yeah, you don't want your finger up there.
I don't want my finger.
Yeah, well, you can do it while you're pulling it back to steady it, but you don't want it when you let it go.
Which finger? Which finger?
That one. You don't want it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I'm here with Brian and Susan from the Lowell Sportsmen Club, and we just had a full day of shooting bows and arrows.
Skeet and archery.
Archery, yeah, archery. And we're going to talk about what we have here at the Lowell Sportsmen's Club. A lot of people in the greater Lowell area don't even know you exist, probably. And seeing that you were the first woman to join the club, I'm going to have you speak first and talk about the club and what benefits and what is open to the public.
Okay, there's a lot open to the public that you don't have to be a member and join the club to do.
Right.
We have, what my family's involved in is the archery, which is on Thursday nights at 6:30.
For children or for
For children
anyone?
and adults, and there's qualified people to help train them, prepare them safety-wise, and then shoot. We shoot outdoors during the summer in our beautiful range, and then in the wintertime, we shoot actually indoors in a safe environment, and that's free to the public. We even have equipment, the bows and arrows for anyone to use. We also have the Friday night pistol shoot that Brian's familiar with.
You want to talk about that, Brian?
Sure. On Friday nights, about 6:30 or 7, we do pistol shooting indoors.
Now, who pays for the ammunition? Who pays for the ammunition?
For new shooters, or it's open to the
new
public.
shooters.
So if you'd like to just come and try it out, we'll provide the safety equipment and handguns and the ammunition for people to try it. Once you really enjoy it, you can sign up for a training class, get your own gun license, and then you can bring your own equipment. But that starts about 6:30 or 7 o'clock and goes until 9 or so.
Okay.
That's for handgun. For trap and skeet shooting with shotguns, every Sunday at 1 o'clock and Wednesday mornings at 10 o'clock. That's open to the public, both trap and skeet. And in the summertime, we also have skeet at 6:30 on, 5:30 on Thursday nights.
Do you have a website, or are you on Facebook, or?
We do. Our website is lowellsc.org, which is lowellsportsmansclub.org. And we are on Facebook.
Yep, I maintain the page
Oh,
on
you-
Facebook.
okay.
Yeah, so we
Oh.
try to keep people up to date with what's going on.
Okay.
And
Do you have an email address too, or Twitter, or?
well, on the Facebook page, on the website, we have copies of our newsletters.
Okay.
And on the front page, there's always all the email addresses and phone numbers. So if someone really wants to get in touch with the club, my name's on the list as the communications secretary. They can email me, or anyone for that matter, on the
So
e-board.
are you going to put in the bulletin that Chums was telling me was here?
Oh, we're going to make sure that goes in the next newsletter, because this is a great thing for our club.
Yeah.
You know, we're tucked away here in North Chelmsford. There's one driveway, in the
And you
secluded
miss it.
little street, and people don't know we're here.
And we're called the Lowell Sportsmen's Club.
Yeah,
So
Right.
and
people-
the perception.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the club was founded in 1913
Right.
in Lowell, but in 1934 moved to Chelmsford, to the present North Chelmsford, to the present location.
So a lot of people who move to Chelmsford don't even know you exist. They never even mention the Lowell Sportsman's Club. They never, ever say anything about it. And the most important thing is that you do exist, and you've been here for quite some time.
We're open to the public, and we
Right.
focus on safety.
Right.
All right, people want to join?
That's for you.
A lot of people want to join. Yeah, we had quite a few people sign up just today for
Oh,
membership.
good.
Yeah.
And you don't need a gun license to join. You don't even need to want to shoot. You can come here to use the property. You can come here to camp along our campsite in the pond. You can
we
come
have a
here.
fishing pond.
Right. Fish, shoot archery. We have canoes for the pond. The water level's a little low this
Do you
year.
have
but-
trails that people could?
Yes.
We do, yeah.
72 acres of land here, and it's mostly conservation land. We're a tree farm because we harvest trees every 10 years.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to wrap this up.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for inviting us. We appreciate it very much, and have a good day.
So, Dean, how is the archery going so far?
That was good. I almost took the tail off of that deer. So we'll try another couple of arrows and see what happens.
That particular deer looks like it moves about the speed for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's not moving.
Good enough? All right. All clear.